Hello, this is the Tradesight U.S. Stocks and Futures Market Preview for Valentine's Day, February 14th, 2017. Let's look at the ES front month futures contract. This is the daily chart of the futures and broad market, or in the broad market and futures form. This is the proper technical way to look at the market. And today's update gives us a 13 sell signal on the ES futures now. Interesting. Let's go through the rest of the indices. We'll talk about what happened today. We'll go from there. Crude oil loses back 97 cents, still hanging flat for the last month. Gold down $10 to $1225.90. S&P cash index, which had a 13 sell signal the day before, hit the risk line already for that signal here. So the cash index has a sell signal, but actually moved up and hit the risk line. The futures just got the sell signal at the close today. NASDAQ 100, 13 sell signal on Friday, hitting the risk line already today as well. So we are right at the pivot, the key point here. Either everything stalls out and rolls, or these sell signals are all going to get negated very, very quickly. Stocks, by the way, the index was up 30. Keep in mind, part of today was a gap. We gapped up in the morning. It was a really boring day overall. Stocks up 2. No action there. Had been dead flat for a week. Biotech's up 20. Still nowhere near highs for the year. VIX up 22 cents, but still holding at near record lows of 1107. This is the problem right here. This VIX so low. Usually doesn't stay this low this long, but it's not helping. Trend finally put in a real low reading of 0.71, but the 10-day moving average is still 1.10. NASDAQ volume was bad at 1.6 billion shares. Remember, this is options expiration week, and Friday is leading into a long weekend, so I don't know where we're going to get the action this week. Advanced decline ratio, plus 472 on the NASDAQ, plus 600 on the New York. Google gains $4.11. Apple up $1.17. That's mostly on a gap, though. I mean, you can see that the actual action, the candle there is boring. Amazon up $9.07. There's a nice cup and handle here on Amazon for a potential breakout. Netflix loses $1.62. Coming back a bit. Tesla, this is a big candle, up 11. I pointed this out this morning that if we got a big update today, or even an update today, this is a 13 sell signal now on Tesla. So keep that in mind. TLT loses back 38 cents. Dow Jones Industrial Average is up a number 142. It has broken and busted the risk line there. Goldman Sachs up $3.55. This gives you the actual, we've been waiting for this, the actual 13 sell signal on Goldman Sachs that I've been waiting for. Might look for a shorting opportunity on Goldman Sachs in the morning. All right, let's look at the intraday action. So we're going to look at 5-minute candles on the ES. Again, you can see half the day was a gap. We drifted up and back a few times, very flat. Then over lunch, we got the move up. And that was it. That was the top, and then we drifted downwards in a very flat afternoon. So very boring morning, very boring afternoon. The time of day when nobody's around is when they rallied. It's the same thing we've kind of seen a couple of times in the last 2 weeks. It's virtually untradeable. I didn't even make a stock call other than the ones in the report. I just didn't like it. I mean, there's just not enough action in the market to justify it. Look at stocks like Goldman Sachs, for example. You get the big gap. You get the gap and push immediately out of the gate. And then look how flat that was all day long. I mean, that's just not tradable. You make a mistake trying to force trades in that market. Here's the NASDAQ side. Again, a little more of an upward bias in the morning and then flattened out for the last 2 hours of the day. So nothing here that I really like. Here's the bonds. Gap down, stuck in this is the TLT, stuck in a 50% range after the gap. That's about it. We got the PPI in the morning. That's the Producer Price Index. That's one of the minor looks at inflation. And I don't know that that's going to give us anything meaningful, but it is coming out in the morning. The next day is the CPI. That'll be more interesting. And then, of course, we got options expiration this week. So at some point, hopefully, you get some kind of options unraveling move. But I don't know. This is just really, really slow. Trying to keep everybody from getting hurt in this environment because this is not pretty. I think the thing you got to focus on here is this 13 sell signal on the S&P and on the NDX and on Goldman, and see what happens. Charts, as usual, brought to you by eSignal 12. If you've not yet taken the trial of our services, feel free to do so. We will help you out for a couple weeks. Have a great trading Tuesday.